Hmm. Do you have a moment from your Ladakh adventures which was very, very fascinating?
I remember going to this really small village called Turtuk, which is on the border of like India and Pakistan. लेकिन रणबीर आप वहाँ जाओगे, the people there, because they've come from the mountains and generations earlier, they must have traveled from maybe Mongolia or like Afghanistan, like certain those parts they don't even look in. Like the ethnicity is so different. And that place just took my breath away. It was this small, quaint village. It didn't look like a quintessential Indian village or, anything I'd seen actually, nestled in the valleys of, these large mountains. The people are dressed in like, very tribalish attires. The kids have like pink apple like cheeks, like how you see on like Mongolian kids and all in pictures, like those kind of features. And I remember walking around the village, no tourists, nobody. And there are like apricots fresh off the tree. So if I was hungry and I could just like pluck apricots, and the air is so clean, the place is so clean, I would just eat it. And it was just something else. It was like being lost in like a lovely different world. So I remember
Hmm.
feeling this there.
I don't mean to be morbid with this question, okay? But hypothetically, when you're on your deathbed way later in life, will you remember the movies you've done more or the travel more?
More than the movies, the experiences and the memories I have while filming them, and certain friendships that I have, like certain lovely moments, that will always stay in my heart. Not the movies in terms of filmography, ki yaar, wow, kya filmography kiya, like whatever the equivalent turns out to be, we don't know. But I think it's the memories. It's always the, be it travel memories or be it memories related to cinema. I think it'll be an amalgamation of all.
Do you want kids?
I do.
Yeah?
I love kids.
No?
Yeah.
Are you actively thinking about this kid situation?
I am, as most women, and the conversations between most girls nowadays, it's like your biological clock and your career clock are always sort of at conflict with each other, right? सबके साथ ऐसा नहीं होता है कि आपको आपकी डेब्यू मिल गई when you're 18 or 19 years old. It's a tough industry to
Yeah.
crack, man.
And you're still hustling. Says a lot.
Yeah, I mean, I love working. And thankfully, like, since what, 2020, whatever, I've done such fantastic films with such some of the best artists and best filmmakers. So it's a fun hustle. A hustle doesn't feel like a hustle if you're having fun and making great cinema, you know? So I do love that aspect. But I also feel like for women, this biological clock and career thing, it's always at conflict. And I don't mean just for an actor. Like I have my friends who are
Yeah.
doctors, engineers, who are just like, listen, we're at a great 20s are for your hustling. It's say by 27, 28 when your hustle starts paying off on an average, whichever industry. Whether you're in
Yeah.
marketing, that's when you're like climbing the senior positions. You're actually you're becoming like a boss, and you're building something of your own. And by then it's like, oh shit, now I have to start thinking about kids because otherwise, like it'll become an issue later. So I see like most working girls, most women actually,
Every woman
every woman,
that
I'm
I
sure even
know.
your friends would have had this
Yeah.
conversation with you.
The friends, the people I meet at work, teammates, every woman is having this
They're like,
conversation.
Karna, I want to have kids, but I don't know where to slot it in my schedule.
Yeah.
My schedule for the next few years is so back to back. So that seems to be the situation, which is when I really envy men.
Yeah.
When it comes to this one thing.
Yeah, I agree. It's very simple as a guy. It's a linear path.
It's so annoying. I'm like, why? Why can't the biological clock just be there for like more time? So this time bomb is not there.
Hmm. I think a guy's 20s are way harder than his 30s.
In what way?
20s are like crazy hard, dude, especially when you come out of college. You suddenly feel the weight of the world because every relative, every bro, every mentor is telling you that you need to man up. So the process of killing off that inner boy, it hurts a lot for almost every guy. And then suddenly you turn 30 and you know your shit with your career. You also know yourself to some degree at least. You know yourself in relationships, in the self-improvement journey. And life feels way simpler at 30, after 30, and keeps getting simpler.
Can I ask you one thing? because you brought this up, because you mentioned it, what is the. I heard this from a couple of my friends, from my brother once. When you were becoming a man, like for a guy, like there's a phase you go through, right? Like in your early 20s, did you have a strong male figure in your life? Which for most people is their father, or for some people it could be their elder brother, for some people it could be like an uncle who's really close. Did you have a solid male figure in your life who taught you how, like, what kind of a man to be?
I'll tell you something slightly esoteric. Yes, the answer is yes, but it wasn't one male figure. It was a bunch of mentors. At this stage of life, a lot of my mentors are women. I don't know how that's happened, but in my 20s, I feel like I needed those male mentors. In my 30s, I feel like I need female mentors. The esoteric thing is that in anyone's astrological chart, there's an element of something called, like in English, you call it Jupiter. It's called Guru Tattva in like Indic faiths. So anyone who's got a strong Jupiter, you'll always see that they attract good teachers, good mentors. I felt that at play a lot in my life. But in my 20s, for this manning up thing, you need slightly older men and men who are a lot older also. The slightly older men will teach you aggression, which you need to learn. And the men who are like really old will teach you how to be calm while also being aggressive. So I feel you need a balance of both. And I feel this female mentor thing in my 30s is happening to, I don't know, dude. It's like it's happening for some career thing also. Like to build something very large, you need very, very deep levels of empathy. And that's what I'm learning from all my female mentors now. How to be empathetic towards the world, but also yourself.
Right.
So
Right.
I
Interesting.
don't think I have any male mentors right now. Maybe like one or two, but they're just very like business specific. But I have a lot of female mentors who I talk to like regularly to
Acha.
just emotionally regulate myself.
Acha.
Yeah.
Because that's something very crucial. And as a woman, I never, because I always had my mum at home. Dad would be away at work. And my father had a very busy working period at that phase when me and my brother were growing up. And my brother was like 5 years younger to me. So dad was like constantly away
The
at
elder
work.
sibling?
Youngest. I'm the elder sibling. Yes.
Two of you.
Two of us.
Okay. You have little elder sibling vibe.
Vibe, na? I do. I get that all
Very
the time.
like responsible.
I'm not, but like, but I'm the one who'll annoy my brother constantly. So with him, I have like a younger sibling vibe, but maybe outside to the world, I have a
No, very, very like
elder sibling.
conscientious.
Conscientious.
Conscientious. Very conscientious. I don't like elder siblings usually.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
You have a younger sibling vibe. Are you?
Yeah,
Are you one?
yeah,
You
of
are.
course,
Na?
of course. They set the bar too high. About like how to be a good citizen, win all these citizenship awards.
Oh, God. I don't think I'm winning any citizenship awards. I'll tell you that for sure.
Okay, go on. Sorry.
Oh God, no. I was just saying ki my mom was always there, so there was always like a blueprint for okay, what kind of woman you're becoming without even realizing. But I remember my brother telling me this once in a very casual way. He was like, and my brother can get very deep and very philosophical, okay. And he's also an historian, an archaeologist, and so he's
Like
somebody
professionally?
professionally,
Damn, dude.
professionally.
Wow.
He studied history at SOAS, which is the London School of, which is a very, very well-regarded college in London. And he studied history there. He studied archaeology. He's done a lot of digs
Where?
in different parts of the world.
Wow.
So he's very enthusiastic about that.
He's in Bombay?
He's in Bombay. He lives here. And
I have a podcast guest I found.
you really enjoy talking to
Yeah,
him.
yeah.
Yeah. Whenever I need a +1 to while going for any party and I feel like I need someone to take over, I don't have the energy I'm too beat to like lead a conversation, he's my go-to.
Hey, this is my archaeologist brother.
It's
Nice
a cool
party
thing to say
trick.
also.
Yeah.
And in a room full of cinema people, if you're like, hey, it's my brother, he's an archaeologist, and they're like, ooh. I'm like, great, talk to him now.
You think one appreciates history with age? I find myself, I always enjoyed history. I enjoy it a lot more now. Like,
I've always loved history. Not as much as my brother, because he was obsessed. He used to read these books called Horrible Histories, Bachpan mein.
nice.
You would get
Yeah,
those
yeah,
like tiny.
got
They
it,
were
got
very,
it.
very popular
Yeah.
when we were growing up at one point.
it's us zamane ka Reddit.
Uz zamane ka. But I love history. If you could time travel to any period in history, where would you go?
If I could sort out my self-defense, I would go into the dinosaur age.
Dinosaur
Yeah, I want to
age.
just see dinosaurs.
Just see dinosaurs.
So I don't want to talk to anyone. I can just stare at this big ass dinosaur
That
and
does seem
protect
fun.
myself, hopefully.
Oh,
You seen Jurassic Park?
of
I
course.
love Jurassic Park.
Me
dude.
too. I love it. I love what a world, no?
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
What about you? Where would you want to go?
I keep thinking about this a lot. I would love to go to a lot of civilizations. Fascinate me, including like in India. If I had to pick the Harappan Mohenjo-daro civilization, the Chola period in Tamil Nadu, the Chola Pandya kings. But the Cholas have done some like cool stuff, you know.
Yeah.
So that period interests me. But if I had to pick, it would be Egypt.
Oh, wow.
It would be Egypt.
Nice.
Yeah, I
Didn't
just
expect-
want to see Egypt in its full
glory.
glory because we've heard so much about like, you know, everything, the pyramids, the Sphinx, the Nile, the mummies, and you know, what a world it would have been, yeah.
Yeah. I'm also sure it was 100% deeply mystical. There was a lot of
So
mysticism.
how
at play.
mystical, and I love mysticism.
Yeah,
Like
same.
it just wakes me up. You know?
Yeah.
Like it hooks me into a space. So I would love to, yeah.